Hello, hello, hello. This is Kathy of kathysright.com and Kathy's Right Podcast. And welcome, warm welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I went to a GOP meeting last night and watched a debate for District 47. It was quite illuminating. And I still haven't decided on a candidate that I like. They were all very good. Any of those, I think 5 people could have been selected and they will do a good job for us. But I need a candidate that's going to do the job I want them to do, not so much, some imaginary thing. I tried to tell them, and they were very receptive afterwards when we got to meet them, and I found that to be really rewarding. I think everybody should try that. We have GOP values. We are hardworking. We are family-oriented. I remember for a time, because I'm surrounded by a lot of liberals, especially for the last few years. I've been back in Texas, but when I was in California, it wasn't so easy to find a safe space to speak out loud. In fact, I felt quite muffled because if you expressed your true feelings about what you think and you happen to be a conservative, you will be attacked. It's gotten bad out there. I think that's kind of sad. I appreciate the people that I know. I think the strongest people that I know are the people who have left the Democratic Party. I mean, they're the best. I mean, it's sort of like if you've been a Republican as long as I have, it takes really no courage to be a Black Republican. But if you were a Democrat and you came to acknowledge that the party that you belong to has absolutely no affiliation with your conscience, then it's a matter of intellectual honesty. And those people are the brave ones. So I've been taking a lot of quizzes lately on the internet. I like to take those quizzes. I think it's kind of fun. Maybe not very intellectual, but fun all the same. But some of them ask questions. And some of them make me remember the reasons that I have always been a Republican. And I joined a few groups, Black Republicans, Texas Republicans, just because I want to do what I can to win back the House in 2020 and get Trump reelected. I really think he would be the best thing for this country. And one of the things I filled out, it asked, do you support the Second Amendment rights? I absolutely do. I have had a gun since I was 10. My first gun was a BB gun. Moved up to a pellet gun. But I still own guns, and I keep them safe and locked. But I also think that that is my right. And it was my right at my birth, and I'm not letting someone take that right away. Because a bunch of cuckoo heads, the shooters, cuckoo heads. They're probably not mentally right in the head, which is part and parcel with a lot of problems we have in this country. The food we eat, the television we watch, the drugs we're allowed to give our kids. They don't mention when you ever have a mass shooting or some sort of crazy shooting, makes no sense. They never tell you anymore, were they on an antidepressant, or are they coming off of an antidepressant, or are they coming off of methamphetamines? Have they been on methamphetamines? We never hear that anymore. And we should know what's happening in this country. the the emasculation of boys and men. I think that contributes to the psychoses of young men nowadays. I mean, the standard for boys' behavior in schools is effeminate. In schools, boys are supposed to behave like girls. Sit still, be quiet, practically tea time. When that's not within their nature. That's not how they're made. They need to get up, run around, have fun, use their minds, make believe, climb a tree, do something like that. But now, if they don't sit down and shut up and act a little bit prissy like the girls, then they get sent to the principal's office. And at one point, my son was, he's very smart. He had the mind of a genius. He could fix any appliance. As an 8-year-old boy, before I throw something out, I said, well, you play with it, okay? But don't plug it up until I get there. But he would fix it half the time at 8. Went to school. He drew a picture. He's never caused any trouble at school. He drew a picture, a sword fight. And it had blood. It was the red ink. He's an artist like myself. He told me, and this is God's honest truth, that if I didn't take my son to get him medicated, he couldn't come back to the school. Medicated. I said, are you telling me that I have to drug my son in order for you to teach him? Yes, Miss Hatch. So I took him out of school and I homeschooled him the rest of the year. He did fine. He's a very mechanical learner, tactile. He likes to feel things, touch things. He likes to manipulate items with his hands. He's very good. And the schools have one formula for all the kids, and that one formula does not work for all the children. I learned a lot about my son when I yanked him out. A friend of mine gave me materials to use at home. The school was very cooperative. They actually gave me books and things to use. The curriculum was really weak. I was really disappointed. I noticed that I hadn't been paying much attention to what they were actually learning. I really depended on federal schools to teach my son. That was a big mistake. But what I learned at the meeting last night and what I'm learning from the people around me is that there are many American heroes. So many. They are rare, but there still are many. To me, there are some that are still alive, like Clarence Thomas. He went through hell. Joe Biden did the technical lynching. A Supreme Court justice. Yes. A black man. And now Joe Biden got the black vote is what they're telling us. Really? Where are you, T.I. and all you people that pick on anybody that says anything bad about a black guy? You're jumping on Oprah and Gayle. Where were you? Oh, you were probably young. It's just, to me, that is sort of hypocritical. I feel sorry for Gayle King. I don't think she was doing anything besides her job. Oprah, on the other hand, I have a few other things to say about her selection of people to persecute. But Gayle, I don't think she's equally guilty. Not like some people. But when I look at why I'm a Republican, why people are Republican, yeah, I support Second Amendment rights. I support school choice. If we had school choice, if everybody had school choice in the form of vouchers, then take my tax dollars back, or at least in a form of a voucher, because they make us pay it, whether our kids go to school or not. And that money would apply towards my child's school of choice, whether it be secular or Catholic. What's wrong with that? I get to choose where my tax dollars go. They're forcing me to pay those tax dollars regardless. Public schools are indoctrination centers right now. And every time you say anything about it, or at least on television or anywhere else, all people will say is, teachers need to be paid more money. And everybody claps, yay! Because if you paid teachers more money, somehow they'd be better teachers. Would they be? Would they? If you gave every teacher in the United States of America right now an extra $20,000 a year, given that, do you think that would make them better teachers? No. The answer is no. Because it wouldn't change their curriculum. It wouldn't change their teaching style. It wouldn't even change their own education. They would just be richer teachers. It wouldn't change a thing for our students. Not if you're still shoveling that socialistic crap down their throats and revised history. I just revisited some historical things that I found a long time ago online, and they changed it. The Appaloosas Massacre, for instance. It was actually Republicans who were lynching black it was not Republicans, excuse me, Democrats lynching black Republicans who were trying to get other blacks to vote. And now I go back and read it from the same source, and it even tells you it was revised by the SJW, Social Justice Warriors, revised history, people. And I looked to see, when did this happen? Because I printed it out a long time ago, and it happened. I didn't find it answered. All I know is they changed the wording of the actual history to make it look like somehow it was just some crazy white people and evil, crazy white people attacking these poor black people. And yeah, in some situations it was, but they were Democrats and they were hanging and lynching blacks and whites. The whites who were there trying to help the blacks vote, register to vote. And they were registering as Republican. They changed history, people. They are lying to us. And we are being manipulated by the media, by the internet even. If we're not careful, if we are not cross-referencing everything that we look into, we are being played. We are being played. It's all a game. It's a terrible, horrible game. People say, I don't want to play games, but you know what? If you're not playing games, you're getting played. A sad statement of affairs, but I was really mad when I saw that because I printed it out a long time ago and it's completely differently written now from the same page. But yes, we want border security. Border security. Yeah. My brother was killed by illegals while fishing with his wife and another couple. The reason I say that because liberal Democrats, whenever I mention my brother was killed by illegals, and they go, how is he killed? I'm like, you want me to relive that pain? Seriously? But what they're really saying is, was he in a gang? These are what white liberals really think. Oh, if your brother was killed and he was black, he must have. But they're saying, I don't ask people how people die. That's something, if they want to volunteer that information, that's great. But digging like that is hurtful. Yeah, he was murdered by 3 illegals. Okay? Aside from that, my neighbor was raped by 3 illegals. Interesting, huh? My neighbor, she was pregnant. She lost her child. In her home, this happened. This is over the years. This is not just like a week. This is like over the last 30 years. How many mothers, how many grandmothers